move on to a mega exclusive. Ola Electric is all charged up and is poised for its D-Street debut. You have Nikunj Zamia, who's ET Now and ET Now Swadesh's editor-in-chief, who caught up with Bhavish Aggarwal, who's the CMD, as well as Harish Abichandani, who is the CFO at Ola Electric Mobility, to understand their big plans that they have for the company and the growth map. Listen in.
Well, Ola is a brand which we all associate with. And now that the company is planning to go public, investors would like to know more about it. And it gives me great pleasure to bring on board Bhavish Aggarwal, CMD of Ola Electric, and the group CFO, Mr. Harish Abichandani. Bhavish bhai, from humble beginnings, when a company goes public, it's a dream come true for any entrepreneur. And the fact that you've achieved in such a quick time, I'm sure before we get into specifics, it must be a great feeling, right? I mean, from where you started, from where we are, and the fact that you are now ready to step into public market, it is like a dream come true for every entrepreneur, isn't it?
Firstly, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure and wonderful speaking to you. And you hit the nail on the head for an entrepreneur. I remember coming to Bombay as a kid, going to IIT Bombay. 2004 I got in. And Bombay there was the dream of creating something always, and that dream I always had. And you're right, after my entrepreneurial journey of almost 14 years now, one of my companies is set to go public. We are very excited about this. And if you look at the kind of history of Ola Electric, this is a very young, new company. We started this company about 4 or 5 years back. And we've seen tremendous scale in terms of our revenue growth, volume growth. 3 years ago is when we launched our first product. And in just 3 short years, the whole EV industry in India has been created on the back of what we launched and what the whole industry then did. So it's very exciting to bring this company to markets early. And we're also looking forward to having the partnership, support, involvement of the entire Indian investing community. Because, this is an Indian story, Nikunj. This is an Indian story, and not just an Indian story, it's an Indian manufacturing, future manufacturing, product technology story. So I'm really looking forward to the partnership of the entire street in making sure this has a very long-term journey and making sure investors make money with us long-term.
Okay, so my next question is a very basic question, Bhavish bhai, that for those who are watching the show and those who plan to invest in Ola Electric, what are the businesses in the company? Why is the company still making losses? And if they're buying, what exactly are they investing in?
So Nikunj, the Ola Electric has 2 main businesses. One is the automotive business and one is the cell business. And automotive is today the scooter portfolio we have. We have a leading scooter portfolio in EVs in India. And we've also announced in our launch event last year, as well as our DRHP and our RHP now, that we are soon going to get into motorbikes. And you will hear more about that in the very near future. 15th August is coming up, our annual launch day. So scooters, now motorbikes. But stepping back broadly, EV is actually the biggest disruption in automotive in a century. And I think globally there's no debate now that EV is the future of automotive. Only question is when, how long will it take, and who will be the leaders in this journey. So we've actually built a very strong business model and foundation to enable strong EV penetration into the Indian automotive market. We started with scooters, and then we really invested into building the cell as a core foundation. And for your viewers, I really want to say that just like in ICE, the engine was the heart of the vehicle, be it a 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler, 4-wheeler. In EVs, the cell is the heart of the vehicle. And we've been working on our own cell technology and manufacturing for the last 4 years. We've been given the largest allocation of the cell PLI by the government of India, 20 gigawatt hour. And our factory, or the Gigafactory, comes online early next year. We're already in the trial production phase with the phase 1A of 1.5 gigawatt hour. So all of this combined really creates a very strong ecosystem, vertically integrated manufacturing play for electrification. And this, we believe, will accelerate and continue to give a tailwind to the EV penetration in India.
Harish, when the last round was done, or the last P round was done, the cell business was at a nascent stage. Now things have picked up. You're closer to your motorcycle launch. But in terms of the valuations at which you're going public, even though the timeline has got extended, valuations have come down. Was there a conscious move that you wanted to do the IPO valuation lower than what the last round of funding was, Harish?
So Nikunj, a couple of points here. One is the cell project which we have announced. It's not a new project. We have been in it for 3 years in our cell journey. We started with R&D. The factory was made in record time, and it's already started trial production. As Bhavish mentioned, it will go commercially live pretty soon. Now, valuation is a different aspect of it. While the business continues in its aggressive growth roadmap, the valuation is something where we have looked at valuation. We have priced it very aggressively for the Indian public, Indian institutional, Indian investors to participate in our journey of value creation, of growth, because we believe that this whole EV ecosystem which we have a mission to create and build is just not, it's very unique for India, but it's for entire country. And hence we want the retail and we want institutions to grow with us. The valuation, we have priced it very aggressively, and we want the whole ecosystem to grow along with us.
And if I can add a little bit to that, Nikunj, we've left money on the table for investors to really, more and more investors to feel excited about our story and come join our cap table in that sense.
I understand that, but it's a business where there is a manufacturing business in two-wheeler, motorcycle will be launched, car would be launched, and there is a battery business. So the valuations which you've arrived at, what methodology which was followed? Typically when companies go public, they follow traditional yardsticks. Ola is not a traditional company, it's a new age company, and it is expanding in high growth areas. So what's the benchmark which one should look at to judge ये company महंगी है सस्ती है?
I think, Nikunj, महंगी या सस्ती तो actually आपको हमारे growth देख के पता चल जाएगा. FY24 we grew 90% revenue over FY23. FY23 was 6x growth over FY22. And along with growth, our profitability percentages are improving. EBITDA margin has improved over the last year significantly. So I think the trajectory of the business is where it is. It's fairly strong. And the opportunity that we're growing into, like I mentioned, is huge. All of automotive over time will get converted to electrification is our belief. And we are actually the leaders in India in EVs in building this. Now pricing, obviously is a judgment call taken with multiple factors, with multiple stakeholders advising us. And like we said, we believe we have priced it aggressively, left money on the table for investors to really feel excited about the story. Because we also want investors to be part of this story going forward. This is a long-term story. We are a very young company. It's a 4-5-year-old company. And this EV transition, energy transition of India will be a 10-20-year story ahead. So there's a lot of potential to continue to grow this business in the future.
Bhavish, but you'll appreciate that the businesses in which you currently are businesses where competition is intensifying. Let's look at the two-wheeler business. First, the incumbent said, no, we will not get there. Now they are coming into the entire EV business. So competition is intensifying. Second, the battery business. It involves a lot of R&D, technology is changing, and the best of the best companies are investing in the battery business. So how is Ola Electric planning to really ensure that they have a leg up when competition is only intensifying?
Yeah. See, Nikunj, you're right. 3 years ago when we started, 15th August 2021, when we launched our first scooter, everybody was dismissive. India mein kaun EV khareedta hai, and this is not for India. And now if, look at the market, in Q1 FY25, which was last quarter, this is all public data, our market share actually was 47 odd %. So, and the market has grown. 3 years ago it was nothing, and the market has grown significantly. And if incumbents are now finally seeing the light of the day that EV is the future, I think it's great. It's great for the Indian industry, because more the merrier. The more people will invest into electrification, the more EV penetration will grow. And the more Indian consumers will find that there's a lot of sense in buying EVs versus ICE. So it's good to see others join the party. Thoda der aaye durust aaye, but chalo aaye to sahi. So, but as people come in the end, the competitive advantage will be based on technical and manufacturing strength in the EV domain. And we have been investing into EV R&D, EV technology, and EV manufacturing, EV supply chains for the last 4 years. We have very significant vertical integration across key EV components. And the highlight of that is our own lithium cell, which is coming out next year. And we have built a fairly large manufacturing and supply chain footprint, which is EV-centric. So as incumbents come on towards the EV bandwagon, they will have to actually build those capabilities. And I do hope they build, because it's great for the country for if more people, companies contribute to building India as a global EV hub, it's great for India, and it'll be great for us by just by virtue of being the leader of the EV ecosystem.
You know, Harish and Bhavish bhai, I always look at Ola as a company which has identified the need of the society. They scale it up with use of technology, they invest upfront, and they enjoy the benefits of high growth. So Harish, that brings me to my next point, that we are in FY25, where expenditure on R&D is high. New technologies are getting built up. But it's only by FY27 or 28 integration of battery and the auto chains will take over. So if I zoom out to FY27 or 28, what do you think we are likely to be discussing? What do you think, what do you envision as Ola Electric could be in FY27 or 28, Harish?
Yeah. So, okay, Nikunj, the point is that today, as you rightly said, we have always pioneered technology. We have always invested ahead of time, because we have seen opportunities, we have seen the need even from a common man's perspective, whether it is the ride-hailing heritage which we have, the EV heritage which we are now building, and look at that from a ecosystem perspective. Even when we said ride-hail, it's fulfilled a very great need at a common man. When we look at EV, it impacts the environment positively, significantly going ahead. So we have always invested in technologies of the future. We will not rest on what we have done so far. We'll continue to invest, we'll continue to grow in this ecosystem.
If I add to that, Nikunj, we will always be an innovation story, consumer-backed, consumer-backward focus on innovation. Consumers want better products. Indian consumer wants the future. Indian consumer is the most aspirational consumer in the world. And they want the future. We hope we can build the technology platforms, and we are continuing to invest in R&D to make sure we are the leaders in technology and building those future products for the Indian consumer that they will really value and cherish.
So Bhavish bhai, I really appreciate that you're one of the fastest auto AEM and one of the fastest growing new age company. But some would say that you're rushing too much. You are trying to just move from one leg to the other end very quickly without stabilizing the first leg of operations. I mean, you could have stabilized the two-wheeler business, introduced the motorcycle, and then perhaps thought about battery.
So Nikunj, this EV journey is a mission for us, right? It is an important mission for the country also. And for us, our mission is to truly make India a global EV hub. And we started this journey with the scooter. And you see, while you might say that you feel we are doing things faster, but we have a very strong leadership position in the EV scooter market. And now we've been working on our motorcycle for the last couple of years. We announced our motorcycles exactly a year ago. So you will be able to see when we bring out our final products how much we have put work into them. And all of the motorbikes build on the same foundation, technical platform, etc. of the scooter. So in that sense, it's building on top of the platform that we've already created. And then finally, for winning the EV future at a country scale, it's very important for us to build our own cell technologies. And we started our cell journey actually 4 years ago when this company began. We started probably talking about it a year or so ago, but the work, the team, the R&D, the lab work, the manufacturing work all started 4 years ago. So in that sense, it's been a compounding effort. So this story is going to be a compounding business build over business build story. 2 scooters going to motorbikes as a foundation, the cell really enabling every part of it. And all of it comes together as an ecosystem in the end, which enables us to build better products at better margins and at lower prices for the consumer.
You would also appreciate the fact that government support also has been quite strong, which is that whether it is in form of PLI schemes or whether it is coming because of the FLAME support. independently, these schemes will not last permanently because flames 1, 2, 3 changes are happening. PLI schemes, well, they have a limited scope in terms of the benefit. So Harish, what happens to the long-term picture of Ola Electric if these crutches are not there?
Okay, so if you look at see how the scheme and the fame, etc., have moved over the years, and we have to look at fame scheme differently. We have to look at the PLI part differently, and I'll discuss that independently. So fame is a consumer subsidy, and we have seen it taper down from a high of 40% to now an absolute number of 10,000 rupees per unit. And though there is a fame 3 on the anvil coming up pretty soon, but we see that tapering off. And that's actually the right thing to do from a government perspective, from an ecosystem perspective. It has acted as a catalyst over the last 2 to 3 years, and it has given the momentum at a consumer level, which is great and which has enabled industry growth, etc. But it will always taper off, and that's what it will happen. PLI is a support to an investment philosophy of the country in manufacturing, and that's where PLI actually plays a very strong role. And we are uniquely positioned to have availed 2 PLIs, the PLI on the water side and PLI on the cell side. So we have those 2 packages with us. So PLI is a government support to enable investment in the manufacturing ecosystem. And as these also are very significant catalyst of capital and growth, allowing the business to mature over a certain time frame, whereby they reach a certain stage where beyond PLI, the business reaches a steady state and business matures, the profitability matures, the margins mature, and so on. So these act as the catalyst in that journey.
Bhavish Aggarwal has multiple businesses. Mobility, Ola Electric, moving into AI, and knowing Bhavish Aggarwal, I'm sure he'll incubate more businesses. So how much time will Ola Electric get? 24 घंटे हैं भैया भावेश भाई दिन में.
Ola Electric gets my full time, Nikunj. Ola Electric is in a phase where there's a very strong growth. I spend almost all of my time, and my time as an entrepreneur is all my time, not 8 hours a day, right? It's more than 70 hours a week, as the public debate is. So मेरा पूरा time committed है on Ola Electric. I am focusing on building the absolute foundation of the future of the EV industry. We have other businesses in the group. We have very strong teams running all parts of our group, and those teams make sure they manage the day-to-day business. My involvement is there in strategic aspects, but from Ola Electric's perspective, I'm 100% involved in every little detail of the company.
Harish, last but one question, when will the real benefits of integration and operating leverage scale and scale will kick in for Ola Electric? Will it be FY 26, 27 or 28?
So you see, Nikunj, we have already seen...
Shall I answer that?
Yeah,
Sorry.
please. Yeah. No, please.
So Nikunj, you will see, we'll be announcing our Q1 results very soon. You will see operating leverage in the near future. And you've already seen operating leverage in our results in FY24, which are in the RHP. So you've seen EBITDA improve from -43 to -19% in just 1 year. And further, manufacturing, like we said, is an operating leverage business. As we are growing volumes, operating leverage keeps improving. So exact timeline is hard to put, but you see it happening as we speak.
I'm just going to draw a parallel here. Dipinder Goyal solved the problem of food delivery. VSS was able to create a brilliant fintech platform. Nykaa, a great online store in terms of beauty solutions. If somebody is betting on Bhavish Aggarwal, what is that problem he's trying to solve? What is the solution he's finding? And how is he planning to take care of the shareholders also? Because you have to map and match a lot of sudden demands now.
Nikunj, Ola Electric is building India's EV future, and we are a mission-driven company. At Ola Electric, we want to really create India into a global EV hub. And it's not a 2, 3 year, 5 year story. It's going to be a multi-decade story, because EV is a journey which is just starting off in the world, and especially in India. And there's a lot of ground to cover. We have just scratched the surface. Ola Electric, in 10 years, if we look back and say we helped create India into a global EV hub, we feel that we will feel satisfied with our efforts. And obviously, we're bringing this company to market early. We are pricing it aggressively so that investors, retail investors, institutional, domestic investors, foreign investors, all are able to take part in this growth story we have ahead of us.
Bhai, you are an entrepreneur, and they say entrepreneur as smart as Bhavish Aggarwal सस्ते में कुछ नहीं बेचता है.
Sorry, Nikunj, I think your voice got muffled.
मैं entrepreneur कभी नहीं बेचता है. And a smart guy like you, when you say you're leaving a lot of money on the table.
देखो entrepreneur दूर की भी सोचता है. And you know, like I said, ये बहुत ही future driven, future में बहुत potential है इसका. And मैं चाह रहा हूँ कि सारे जो investing community है, उनको इसमें value दिखे. So entrepreneur, you know, the foolish entrepreneurs end up optimizing for today. I hope the smart ones optimize for tomorrow.
So final question, Bhavish bhai. What about risk of change of technology, especially in the battery business? Innovation, billions of dollars are being spent there. You know, from lithium to hydrogen, I don't know how the future would move, but there is a real threat of technology changing the way how energy storage business would move. How are you insulating yourself to ensure that the technology medium which you are betting on, that remains relevant?
Nikunj, there's a very important paradigm difference here. You know, for too long, companies, especially in India, have been technology takers, not technology makers. And you know, when you're a technology taker, the risk of technology change affects you much more. But when you're a technology maker, you actually create the technology of the future and you de-risk yourself. So our strategy has always been to be the technology maker of the future, not the technology taker of the future. And in that sense, that's the most simple strategic way of de-risking ourselves from technology change, by creating the capabilities, by doing the investments into R&D to be the technology maker of the future.
And all I can say is that we can talk about today, tomorrow, but if I talk about what Ola Group in general has achieved, I think it's an extraordinary feat. Humble beginnings to a company which had some of the marquee PE investors, those who understand future investing, they're betting on it, and now they're going public to really invite everybody in India to be part of the growth journey. I think it's incredible. And that is India for you. Entrepreneurship, betting big, believing in themselves and betting on India. That is what I think the beautiful messaging. So, you know, personally for me, it's such a pleasure and delight to see how your journey is evolved, and I'm sure this is just the beginning in terms of many good days ahead. So good luck with your IPO and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Nikunj, for your kind words.
Thank you, Nikunj.